Sakura, have you been watching any anime lately?
Oh, Professor Haru! Actually, I just finished Demon Slayer. It's amazing how popular Japanese anime has become worldwide. I read that the industry is booming.
Indeed it is. The Japanese anime industry reached 85.6 billion yen in overseas revenue in 2022, growing about 5 times over the past decade. But you know, Sakura, behind this impressive growth lies a fascinating and complex business structure that many people don't fully understand.
Really? I always thought anime studios were making tons of money with all this global success.
That's a common misconception. Let me tell you about something called the subcontracting nature of the anime industry. You see, most anime production companies in Japan operate primarily as subcontractors for other companies, toy companies, TV stations, publishers, and video media companies.
Wait, so the studios that actually create the anime don't own the rights?
Exactly. This long-standing subcontracting structure creates 2 major problems. First, it leads to unstable business foundations. Second, it weakens the studio's awareness of generating revenue from their own intellectual property, or IP.
That seems backward, doesn't it? The creators should benefit from their own work.
You're absolutely right to think so. This is one of the key challenges facing the industry today. The government has even designated the content industry, including anime, as a core national industry. In 2023, the entire content industry reached 13.3 trillion yen in market size, with overseas sales of 5.8 trillion yen, second only to automobiles in export value.
Wow, that's incredible. So, if the industry is so successful globally, why hasn't the business structure changed?
That's an excellent question, Sakura. This brings us to an interesting concept in economic geography called negative lock-in. Let me explain. Most anime production companies are concentrated in Tokyo, particularly in districts like Nerima and Suginami.
I've heard about that. Isn't that concentration a good thing? Everyone's close together so they can collaborate easily.
It was beneficial initially. Since the 1960s, when TV anime became mainstream, the industry developed a vertically divided system where small and medium-sized companies and freelancers specialized in specific processes and collaborated as needed. They located close to each other for convenient logistics and information exchange.
That makes sense. So, what's the problem?
The problem is that this system has become too rigid. The strong social ties and excessive information flow within this concentrated area have become obstacles when production companies try to explore new strategies. Past practices that were once effective have become fixed, making rational changes difficult. This is what we call negative lock-in.
So they're trapped by their own success?
Precisely. But here's where things get interesting. Since around 2010, and especially after the late 2010s, we've seen an increasing number of production companies establishing studios in regional areas outside Tokyo.
Is that because of labor shortages in Tokyo? I heard the anime industry needs a lot of people.
That's the surface reason, yes. The popularity of streaming services like Netflix since the late 2000s increased demand dramatically, creating a talent shortage in Tokyo. Anime remains a labor-intensive industry, so companies have been competing for talent.
But you said that's just the surface reason. There's more to it?
Exactly, Sakura. Some pioneering companies are moving to regional areas not just to find talent, but to gain independence from Tokyo's traditional industry system. By establishing operations outside Tokyo, they can build better production systems and develop their own IP, rather than remaining dependent on orders from publishers and TV stations.
So it's actually a strategic business decision.
Yes, These companies recognize that to negotiate effectively with their traditional clients, they need the ability to produce high-quality works consistently. They're using their regional locations as a foundation for this transformation. However, there's a significant challenge. Regional areas lack the support infrastructure for IP development. For example, lawyers with deep expertise in content IP are almost entirely concentrated in Tokyo.
That's a serious problem. What else is changing in the industry?
Well, there's an exciting new trend: collaboration with overseas source material. Traditionally, Japanese anime has been all Japan. From the original manga or light novel to production, everything was done by Japanese companies. But now, we're seeing anime based on webtoons and other overseas content.
Oh, like Solo Leveling! I loved that one.
Exactly. Solo Leveling is a perfect example. The original Korean web novel became a manga that gained worldwide popularity, and then A1 Pictures produced the anime. It became the most watched series ever on Crunchyroll as of March 2024. The COO of Crunchyroll said that Japanese anime based on overseas source material is gaining popularity.
Why do international partners choose Japanese studios, though?
Because Japanese anime has a long history dating back to the early 20th century, and its storytelling and expressive capabilities are highly valued. Anime equals Japan as a brand has been firmly established. Even Star Wars has been attracted to Japanese anime. Since 2021, Lucasfilm has been collaborating with Japanese animation studios to create Star Wars anime series.
That's amazing. So, Japanese technical expertise is recognized globally.
Absolutely. But here's something important we need to consider. There's a cautionary tale from Japan's gaming industry. Gaming, like anime, was considered Japan's specialty. However, Japanese companies fell behind in rapidly growing markets like mobile and PC games by failing to capture overseas needs. The 2025 Tokyo Game Show saw overseas exhibitors outnumber Japanese ones.
Oh no. Could the same thing happen to anime?
It's a real risk. There's growing demand for webtoon-style content that's easy to consume quickly, and for dubbed versions with international voice actors. Japanese anime is at a crossroads. Can it level up by embracing excellent overseas source material while maintaining its core strengths?
So what needs to happen for the anime industry to succeed in the future?
Several things, Sakura. The Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry outlined 5 key challenges in their entertainment and creative industry strategy: expanding overseas markets and diversifying IP development, securing and training young talent, improving profitability to support creative activities, promoting regional industry development, and streamlining production processes.
That's a lot to address. Is the government helping?
The government has set an ambitious goal: to increase overseas sales of the content industry from 5 trillion yen to 20 trillion yen by 2033. They're also looking at South Korea's success. Korea's content exports have quadrupled over the past decade through strong government support via the Korea Creative Content Agency, or KOCCA.
What about the studios themselves? What can they do?
The key is for production companies to move away from being mere subcontractors and develop their own IP. They need to diversify their revenue structures and stabilize their business foundations. Regional studios have an opportunity here. By escaping Tokyo's negative lock-in, they can build more autonomous business models.
It sounds like the anime industry is at a really important turning point.
It is, Sakura. Japan's strength lies in its freedom of expression, loose religious and class norms, minimal restrictions on creativity, and a culture where both adults and children enjoy anime and games. Combined with a strong education system that emphasizes arts and creativity, Japan has tremendous IP production capacity. The question is whether the industry can reform its business structures to match its creative excellence.
I hope they succeed, Professor Haru. Japanese anime brings joy to so many people around the world.
As do I, Sakura. With the right strategic changes, Japanese anime can continue to thrive as a true core industry, reaching that 20 trillion yen goal and beyond. You've been listening to Narrative Japan. Until next time, stay curious and keep listening for the whispers beneath Japan's economy.